you've seen my previous video on the other E25 with red oxide, then you'll know I'll be using this red-brown surface primer from Vallejo so that we can prime it and help give us a nice warm tone feeling to the dark yellow color we will add later on. Here I just mixed dark yellow Model Air from Vallejo and white, also from Vallejo, to make the color tone even lighter and that it will be toned down and be much darker later on. And then I begin to use a olive green or medium olive green from the Model Air Vallejo paint, as I will also apply on another Model Air Armor Brown from their German 1935, or I believe 1939 through 1945 paint set. To help discolor the paint, I use Iraqi sand and some white to help give some certain highlights, but also help discolor the paint, as I want it to be faded looking and a little bit more weather worn than it would initially be. Now I can use the Vallejo satin varnish and another 1 or 2 layers to help cover and seal the camouflage paint, which will also be very nicely in contrast to the very matte and dark brown mixture paint that we'll be mixing with Tamiya paints, which are flat brown and NATO black, and then mixed with our usual mixture of making it adjustable with just soap and water. And if you're wondering, this decal sheet did not come with the Pegasus kit, as it came from a Model Collect kit, which has a nice selection of decals and German markings and number inscriptions. We then help it conform to the surface of the model with a little bit of microsol and finish it off with a nice 1 or 2 coats, or maybe sometimes even 3, depending on the thickness of the decal, with this Vallejo matte medium, which I highly recommend. Now we can start for chipping, and I just used the same dark yellow paint mixed with the same color as white, but with even more white to help make it a very pale tone to make it look like chipping, by also mixing in a drop of AK's retarder and some water, so it'll be nice and thin and smooth, as we want to speckle this on in the sponge chipping technique. And don't forget to remove excess when you're doing this technique. Fast forward after a few hours of the light chipping, and now we can begin with the deeper cuts of chipping and scratches to help bring out the depth and the perception that this is more 3D like by using the dark rust Vallejo paint. Now we can have some fun with some rust effects by this left color paint burned rust to help give a more oxidized look and a more dirty and filthy grimy look to this E25 paper panzer, as adding the rust effects will give it a really, in my opinion, cool effect. Then for the tracks, I just use straight out of the bottle this flat earth to help give me a base paint color for the tracks, as we will cover them in mud and some grass, but this time not in wet effects, but just as the mud is maybe sort of satin or almost just completely dry, as that's the sort of effect that I want to have for this tank. As I begin to apply on my mud effects texture with hard pastels and Tamiya paints that you may know from one of my previous videos, I will begin to add on speckling and some splash mud effects by using this old, not so well use brush so that it will give me random effects and build up of mud around the tracks and the road wheels. Then for the drying mud and grass effect, I used this grass from a set that contains the grass that you would find for dioramas and for scenic bases, or you can also just use real earth and dry grass that you can find in your yard, if you can. Then for some color variation, I use flat earth and sky gray, both from Vehicle model color, and both mix it into a nice different color variations of more sky gray or a little bit more flat earth, or sometimes even equal parts, just to help give the model some more color. And as we come an end to this video, I'd like to thank you for watching. And of course, it wouldn't be my model if I didn't have any mistakes, as I am still learning and I'm trying to improve upon it. But besides that, I will hopefully show you my next project on Christmas Day, and hopefully I will see you there. See you next time.